Welcome to the cottage of chaos and mayhem. The kids are the chaos, and honestly, the rest is just mayhem. And yes, that is my foot in a boot. And yes, I am currently building a cottage inside a van in the middle of winter with a broken foot. Questionable? Absolutely. But this is me turning a decommissioned ambulance into our little family adventure cottage. Slowly, practically, and with a fair bit of laughter along the way. So if you're here for learning, problem solving, and a slightly unhinged build process, welcome. You're in the right place. This is our decommissioned ambulance. We didn't really film the very beginning of this build, so this is the closest footage we've got of it. But this is what 1 month of turning an ambulance into a woodland camper actually looks like. This isn't the perfect version. It's the real version. The slow parts, the unexpected problems, the bits that took far longer than we thought they would. And the small moments where things finally started to change. Because transforming something like this, it's never just one big step. It's hundreds, maybe even thousands of small steps. So, by the time we properly started filming, we were already part way in. The van was still very much an ambulance. But we'd started stripping it back. Inside there were still fittings, panels, wiring, and all the things that made it clear what it used to be. Outside it still carried that identity too. Reflective decals, markings, and that just unmistakable look of an ambulance. So the goal from the start has been simple: to completely and utterly change that. Not just functionally either, but visually. We don't want it to feel like a converted ambulance. We want it to feel like something entirely different. We want it to feel like an enchanted, travelling woodland space. Somewhere that feels warm, calm, and a little bit magical. But before any of that can happen, we need a blank canvas. So over the course of the first month, we started removing everything that we didn't need. And I mean everything. Panels, fittings, leftover equipment, anything that wasn't going to serve the final build. And as we did that, we weren't just pulling things out and throwing them aside. We were actually weighing them, piece by piece. Because with a build like this, weight matters far more than people realise. And of course, we had fun along the way. But anyway, weight. It affects how the van drives, how safe it is, and what you can legally carry. Even how efficient it is long term as well. So we kept track of what we were removing. And before going any further, we had the van properly weighed. Just to understand where we are starting from. And later on, once we've removed more and finished stripping things back and we've had the wiring removed, we're going to weigh it again to see exactly how much difference all of that has made. That's going to be its own video though in the future, because honestly, the numbers surprised us. Some things come out easily, others really don't. There were quite a few hidden fixings and a lot of awkward placements. So progress hasn't been exactly quick, but it has been steady, and that's been the pattern so far. Not quick wins, just consistent ones. And as you'll have seen in some of these clips already, we have had plenty of fun while doing it. We've been teaching the older kids some new skills that of course they will use as they get older, like how to use an electric screwdriver, various different things like that. And we have had moments of just messing about, having fun, playing in the van, and just trying to make some really nice, fun memories for us to look back on in the future as well, which has been so fun while completely gutting the entire interior of the van. So it is something that I have been quite pleased about, and if you would like to go and see our top silly moments, They are all on our alternative channel, the Briarwick Adventures. So they are all clips that have been taken either while we've been messing about or while I've been trying to record my tutorial and educational content in the van. And it's just been so much fun and I've absolutely loved it. I think the kids have too. So by the end of this month's work, Briarwick is looking like a fresh canvas for us to work with. There are some things that we do need to do yet. We need to get the wiring removed, which is going to be happening soon. We do have it booked in, but we can't do it yet. And we will be getting it weighed again after all that before we actually start building anything. However, she is looking like a very blank canvas, which is ideal for us to work with. So what we've also done in the first month of having our lovely Briarwick, and during her beautiful transformation from a clinical setting to a wondrous woodland butterfly. So, I don't know. But the next thing we were getting on with was the sticker removal. And we thought this part was going to be simple. It's just removing decals, right? The large reflective stickers covering the van that scream ambulance. In theory, it should have been straightforward. Peel them off, clean the surface, move on, and then we can give it a lovely outer exterior. But in reality, that was not the case. It was anything but. Some sections came off really cleanly. Others broke into tiny fragments, and that was a nightmare. Some segments left absolutely no adhesive behind, and other segments left very thick, very stubborn adhesive that's just refusing to budge. So this has been very trial and error. I have tried the heat gun, I have tried the wallpaper steamer, both of which have got their pros and cons. I much preferred using the wallpaper steamer compared to the heat gun, and I do explain that in more detail in the full video on wallpaper steamer versus heat gun. But there isn't one clear method that is going to work everywhere. You've got to adapt, you've got to adjust. There's so many different variables. There's like the tight corners, which are an absolute pain and a nightmare, especially when you're working with a wallpaper steamer and that doesn't wrap round corners. It works well on flat surfaces. Does not work well on curved surfaces. So we had to test, we had to adapt, we had to figure things out as we went along, and it was a very long, tedious process. However, Briarwick is looking less and less like an ambulance every day that we work on it. She is gaining a bit of her own personality rather than just looking very clinical. It's all transforming, and there have been some major big changes. So I'm going to drop here a before and an after of what she looked like with the stickers and following the full sticker removal. We still have the adhesive to remove, which will be another video because I am trialing a whole load of different adhesive removers, and I will tell you which ones work best when I've finished that video. So stay tuned for that. So this is what our beautiful Briarwick looked like before, at the very beginning of the month, and this is what she is looking like now. She has lost a lot of that, her previous life's identity, the identity of an ambulance, which is great to see. It is so transformative and it is so satisfying seeing how much our hard work has paid off here. My top tips that I would give for sticker removal, having learned a lot from our mistakes, is have a heat gun, have a wallpaper steamer, have plastic scrapers, because you are going to need all of them, and have patience. patience is the key. It is exhausting, it is time consuming, it takes a long time to get seemingly anywhere progress wise, but and have a screwdriver. Have a screwdriver if you are doing an ambulance, because you are going to need the screwdriver too. But I have learned a lot, and it has been so much fun with the whole transforming her this month. And I think I can say that we have done a heck of a lot of work in transforming her and stripping her of her previous identity. All of this was happening around everything else. Kids, daily life, recovery, because I did break my foot. And I couldn't stand for long periods because of my foot as well. So everything has had to be done in stages. Short bursts, breaks, coming back to it later, which meant even small tasks stretched out over days. But that's just part of it. This isn't a workshop build, it's real life, and that changes the pace of everything. The other thing is the importance of cleaning, and we've been making sure to clean as we go so that the van stays clean, because builds do get messy, and it's like in our next 1 month compilation video, I guess, we will be making one heck of a mess because of what we've got planned in the very near future, and it is going to be so messy and it's going to be a nightmare to clean up, and I'm really not looking forward to that. But that's coming in the future, and there is no avoiding it. So yes, we've been also trying to make sure that we keep on top of the mess, keep it clean, so that we're not tripping over things and there aren't any hazards in our way as we are working on the build, especially with my foot being in the state it's in. Also, during this month, I did have my boot removed, which has been great because I've been 6 weeks in a cast, 6 weeks in a boot, and I am now finally starting to walk without support. And that also has introduced its own challenges because my ankle and my foot actually hurt a lot faster now than they did when they were in the boot, so I'm having to take even more regular breaks, which I'm hoping to build up my strength again so that it's not going to be as difficult to be walking around and be working on this build, because it does slow us down massively, the state that my foot is in at the moment. It was actually because of the deep cleaning though that we found a leak, which we were able to sort as well. So basically what was happening was there was a plate on the outside of the ambulance where the lights used to be, and every time it rained, it hadn't been fitted properly. Every time it rained, the water was just coming through the back of that plate. So we removed it, we applied Sikaflex, and we replaced the plate, which has since resolved the leak, which is brilliant. And I'm so glad that we found the leak this early in the build, because if we'd have found it much later on, we could have had some real problems, which we're so thankful that we are going to be avoiding now. Because we could have ended up with mould, we could have ended up with damp, we could have ended up losing a lot of our materials because of that. So we're so thankful that we did spot it early, and it is all thanks to keeping our workspace clean and making sure that we clean it regularly. And this is where we are at now. We have gutted everything. We have got all the wires on show ready so that it's a lot easier for the auto electrician to be removing wires, because he can see where everything leads to. I know in this clip it is a bit of a mess. I was working at the time and I just quickly recorded it, but it's all been gutted. She has lost so much of her ambulance identity, and we are just now working on what the next stages are. We are so excited to be showing you guys where it goes and how much it changes next month. So if you liked this video and you'd like to see how our ambulance transforms into our Briarwick cottage, please do press that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. I do post a tutorial video, it's a crochet tutorial, every Wednesday. And yes, there will be crochet in this van build. I also have my series, I Made It So You Don't Have To, where I test beginner crafter kits on Temu, Shein, AliExpress, and I tell you whether or not they are actually beginner friendly. Do they work? Don't they work? Are they suspicious? Will they be joining the rest of the criminals in the craft crime corner? Then I also post my van build videos every 2 weeks on a Friday. I do educational content where I teach through trial and error, and you guys can learn from my mistakes. And we also do these compilation videos as well, so you can see how everything has transformed over the last month. And I'm hoping to do a yearly one because I want to see how much Briarwick is going to transform over the next year. I'm sure it's going to be a heck of a lot. I will be surprised if she is even recognisable after a year. So yes, I hope to see you in my future videos. Stay tuned, and I love y'all. Bye.